Guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, I'm Lydia, and if you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, join the growing family, turn notifications on, and while you're down there, give me a thumbs up because it really just helped me out. Today we're doing a Q&A. So I asked for questions on my Instagram and boy did you come through. So without any interruption, let's roll the intro and get on with the video. Can you make a video talking about what symptoms you have of schizoaffective disorder? I actually already have made a video on this. It's linked here. And it's on the iCard and it's in the description down below. What's your experience with therapy? Oh boy! Now, I've done different types of therapy for the last... how many years? I don't know how many years it's been. I did my first lot of counselling at 11. Then I had eating disorder therapy. Then I had DBT. Then I had CBT twice. Then I had IAPT. Can't remember what it stands for, but it's a type of psychological therapy you do for 6 weeks. Then I moved to Lancashire, did DBT again. Then I tried EMDR therapy, didn't get on very well with it. Then I did art therapy and I was asked if I'd do DBT again and I said no. Then I was asked if I wanted to do trauma therapy and I said no. And that is the story of how many bits of therapy I have done. How do you find a therapist? The only way I've ever found a therapist has been through the NHS. I did have private counselling at one point with a blind psychiatrist. That was interesting because it was a good experience and he was a great therapist. His prices just got a bit too much for me and I couldn't afford it, so I had to stop. It was a great guy though. Definitely my best experience with therapy. Well, how do you find a therapist? There are therapist websites where you can search up therapists in your local area. It has their prices on and it has their location on. Not exact location, but rough location, which allows you to be able to find a therapist, basically. How to tell parents about self-harm. Honestly, the best advice I've got for opening up about self-harm to parents is in this video. But in all seriousness, the best way to open up to your parents is to just be honest with them. Be like, Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, Nan, brother, sister, whoever your guardian is, and be like, I need to talk to you. Then sit down with them and be like, I self-harm. Now, everyone reacts in different ways, so please don't get upset if they react with anger. Yes, it's upsetting that they don't understand it very well, but anger is the most popular reaction because they feel like they've missed something and they've done something wrong. I know that's how my mum felt. Do you ever feel like your scars aren't enough? Yes. So I only have scars. Well, I have scars all up and down my arms, but only I can really make out the ones on this part of my arm. On this arm I have that scar. And then I have the tattoo over a lung scar that I had. And then it's the same on this arm. I got it tattooed over. But yeah, I do feel like my scars aren't enough. I self-harmed for a long time. All I ever did was superficial. Apart from the long ones on my arms. I was told that I would not get stitches because I did it to myself. Lovely advice from professionals. Inspired you to recover. So 2 years ago I was in hospital and it just sort of hit me one night. I was like, this is the last ever admission I'm gonna have. And at that point I was so determined to make that true that I've just ever since then I've just focused solely on my mental health. Quite well, considering. So that is what, nothing inspired me, like, no YouTubers or Instagram stars or whatever you want to call them. I just sort of said to myself, this is your last ever admission. Because it was grim. It was a horrible admission. But I guess I self-motivated. How do you deal with everyday challenges and your mental health? So I'm assuming everyday challenges means like showering, eating, taking medication, going to the shop to get food. Now, sometimes mental health can get in the way. Like, if you have agoraphobia like I do, it's harder to get out to go to a shop to get food. I get most of my stuff delivered. In fact, I get all of it delivered. The only thing I go to the shop for is a Powerade, which I would kill for right now, but I'm not getting dressed. I'm still in my pyjamas. I've just done my makeup and put on a top. How do you deal with everyday challenges? Like, that's a hard question. It makes me realise I don't really function very well as a human being. I think the best thing for me to say here is put your mental health first. If you feel like you can't shower today, that's fine. You don't need to shower every day. It's actually been proven that showering every day damages your skin cells. You know, the world's not going to end if you don't shower for a day. Or 2 days. Or 3 days. Obviously you have to eat. But there are ways to go about it. Like, you could just order food in. Next, we've got advice when you're newly diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder. So when I was newly diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, I went on a bit of a binge of Alana's videos. And if you don't know who Alana is, here's Alana. Here's her YouTube channel. Here's her Instagram. When you first get diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, you can think, what the fuck have I just been diagnosed with? I remember when I first got diagnosed, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I knew Alana had it, but this was only, you know, not long after she had been diagnosed with it. I guess we've kind of learned together how to deal with it. But my best advice for when you get diagnosed with it is research it. Do full-on searches, don't go to Wikipedia, Wikipedia liars. Next is, my anxiety is so bad when I leave the house, what can I do to change this? Hard question. I have agoraphobia, so going out is a challenge for me, and I have to take medication to do it. Which is no shame. There's no shame in needing medication to do things, you know. I say that all the time because I need medication to function in day-to-day life. So, it's not bad. But if you're having a lot of anxiety about going out, maybe speak to a doctor and see if you have agoraphobia. Or you can do self-exposure therapy, which is something I'm going to start doing in the next week. I'm going to challenge myself to go outside and do stuff. Oh, that's rude. I'm going to read it anyway, but how did you get diagnosed with arthritis when you're not even 30? I was 17 when I was diagnosed. Fucking rude, much. I'm closer to 30 now than I was when I was 17. But then again, my joints go like that. I don't know how I got diagnosed with it. I did some tests and then they said I had arthritis and they said it was an aggressive form. Which is why I have to use heat pads so much. And hot water bottles and my new heat pad. Rude. What phone do you have? I have the iPhone 13 Pro Max. What's your favourite song right now? The Code by Nemo. Oh, for fuck's sake. Is your epilepsy new? I don't have epilepsy. I've never said I have epilepsy. Why are people assuming that I have epilepsy? Because I don't. I've never claimed to have it. Ugh. No, it's not new. My seizures aren't new. I've had them since I was 4. But yeah, to be very blunt, I don't have epilepsy. How's your physical health impacting your mental health? It's not. I know I'm having more seizures than I was before, but well, it's not really affecting my mental health. I'm in a depressive episode at the minute, and I have been for a few weeks, but yeah, it's not really impacting my mental health. My mental health is very well under control. Have you started catching up on Doctor Who? Nope. How are you? I'm doing okay, thank you for asking. If someone sends you a vile message and it causes you to self-harm, is it their fault? Self-harm is never anyone's fault but your own. You are doing it to yourself. Nobody made you pick up a blade and cut your arm. You know, nobody forced you to burn yourself. Nobody caused you to pull your hair out. It may have upset you and triggered the episode which led to self-harm, but it's not their fault. Blaming self-harm on other people is so not the thing. Just persistent sadness. Emotional changes, which are persistent sadness, hopelessness, irritability, anxiety, extreme mood swings, loss of interest in activities. Behavioural changes, social withdrawal, changes in sleep or appetite, neglecting personal hygiene, engaging in risky behaviours. Cognitive challenges, difficulty concentrating, memory problems, confused thinking, unusual beliefs. Physical symptoms, fatigue, unexplained aches and pains, changes in appetite or sex drive, hallucinations and delusions, experiencing things that don't exist, hallucinations, or having fixed false beliefs, delusions. Thoughts of self-harm or suicide, this is a serious sign and requires immediate attention. How can I improve my mental health? By putting your mental health first. I know some of us have jobs and can't just be like, I need a mental health day, but actually you can. You can just call in sick. Mental illness is an illness. I'm a new dad and I'm finding it harder than I thought. Should I seek help? Absolutely. If you're having struggles being a dad for the first time, you should definitely reach out for some support. It is any parents, a dad, a mother. Having your first child can make life really difficult, and because it's difficult, we have to neglect parts of our mental health because we're trying to provide for this little thing that came out of you called a baby. Don't know why I explained it like that. But yeah, I advise find a counsellor, find a couples therapist, and just, well, seek support. There's no shame in seeking support. Sometimes we need it, and that's okay. And that is all the questions I have got. Thank you for asking all these questions, you guys, and if you want to be involved in the next Q&A, head over to my Instagram, which is linked on screen and in the description down below. So yeah, if you're new, subscribe, join the growing family, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.